What's up, guys? It's Ryansium here, and today we are back in Skyrim. That's right, you guys, and oh snap, is it gonna be an awesome freaking day? So guys, welcome back, and happy Magic Monday. So out of all the mods you voted for on last week's episode, this is the one that won. But don't forget, down there in the comment section, vote 1, 2, or 3, or check out the poll in the top right-hand corner to vote for which mod you want to see next Magic Monday. So without further ado, let's get into it. So, the Forgotten Spells. I was taking a look at this on Bethesda.net, and inside of the mod description, it says this. This mod adds several classic spells from Oblivion and Morrowind that never got featured in Skyrim. You'll find them as loot, or you can buy them from merchants in both tome and scroll forms. Now, each spell is well balanced in rarity, magicka cost, skill level requirement, and power, and enemy mages will be able to use some of them against you, meaning you gotta be careful about who you go up against, because some of these spells are pretty devastating, especially if you're a battle mage. So without further ado, let's actually get into it. So what exactly does it add? Well, let me go through the description and let you guys see just how much this adds. So inside of Conjuration, we have Conjure Skeleton Guardian, which is a skeleton with an axe and a shield. A Skeleton Hero, which is an armored skeleton with a greatsword and twice as much health as the Skeleton Guardian. Mark and Recall, which is a portable portal, which is kind of cool. We have Conjure Skeleton Champion and Conjure Dwarven Sphere. Now, that's just the Conjuration. In Alteration, we have Water Walking, Feather, Burdened, and Cushioned Falling. And then Destruction, we have Bolt of Weakness as well as Sever Magicka. Restoration, we have a Cure Disease and Poison, a Resist Disease and Poison, Fortify Health and Fortify Stamina, as well as the Eyes of Eventide and Silence. Now, within the scrolls section, it actually says something different too. There's two new scrolls. There is Divine Intervention and New Temple Intervention. Now, both have kind of the same ability, and what they do is you will be teleported when cast to the nearest Divine Temple. For example, if you're in the Reach, you'll be teleported to the Markarth's Temple of Dibella. It's kind of a quick way to get out and teleport to one of the temples to make sure that you can, like, if you're afflicted with vampirism or sanguinary vampirus or some, debilitating freaking disease, you can actually just jump to the nearest temple and you can cure yourself there. And then the new temple intervention is obviously the Dark Elves with Azura, Boethia, and what is it? I can't remember. The Shrine of Azura, the Shrine of Boethia, or the Ravenrock Temple in Solstheim. So, the new ones, the new temples. But without further ado, let's actually check some of this out, shall we? So, inside of my inventory, I have a fair few of them. And in fact, I have them learned. Now, where exactly can you find them? It all depends on 1, your level, and 2, the people that you have access to. I found most of my spells from these people. They're in the College of Winterhold as well as Dragon's Reach with the guy up there. I can't remember his damn name. I'm drawing a blank. But most of the spells that I found were from these people. But you can indeed find more of them and basically all of them out in the world. And some of them are more rare, some of them are less rare. But we're going to take a look at most of them today. So the Bolt of Weakness, in fact, let's go ahead and take a look at it inside of here. So the Bolt of Weakness, a magical bolt that does 30 points of damage to the target's stamina. And then Sever Magicka does the same thing, but it severs Magicka from the target. So this one is Stamina, and this one is Magicka. They both can fit in your hands just like that, and it looks kind of cool. Typical destruction magic, kind of just making it so that your enemies and all that stuff are a little more vulnerable to some of your attacks. Kind of nice, especially if you're a battle mage. Now, these ones are more difficult to test out, just mainly because you can't really see what it's doing to the people, but you guys can definitely test those out on your own, especially if you're a battle mage. Now, in Alteration, this is where a lot of the spells come from. Now, the target moves 50% slower for 22 seconds. If it's dual casted, though, I'd imagine you can do it for even longer. So now we can see... Okay, so that's Savos Aaron. He's not really gonna try and attack me, but what if I punch him? Let's see, let's go ahead and quick save. There we go. Let's see what happens. Okay. I guess nothing. Okay, here we go. So let's see. Probably shouldn't have picked on the Archmage as far as who to kill first, but oops. So he is moving 50% slower, it looks like. You know what? This might actually be a better thing to try on a guard. Alright, let's try it on this guard right here. So we'll go ahead and cast that spell on there. And it does indeed move quite slow. Now, what if we go ahead and dual cast it and then do this? So yeah, he moves about the same speed. He moves just about the same speed, but that's pretty cool even. But let's see. Let's try... Where's it at? Is it that one? I think it's the Bolt of Weakness. Yeah, I think it's this one. So this one severs their stamina so that they can't run anymore. So that's kind of cool. And I just got basically the shit kicked out of me. Whoops! Okay, so that didn't necessarily work the way I wanted it, but that's because I was not in God mode, but now I am. That won't affect the ability and the destruction, you know, the power of the spells. But Burden, target moves 50% slower for 22 seconds. I think it does the same amount of slowing damage, but for 44 seconds if you dual cast it, which makes sense. And then let's go ahead and check out some of the other ones. We have Cushioned Falling. Caster's falling damage is reduced by 50% for 45 seconds. Now this one is kind of cool. Now here's what we're going to go ahead and do. We're going to go ahead and dual cast this one. So now that we're protected for how long? Let's see if it'll say Cushioned Falling for 99 seconds. So here's what we're going to go ahead and do with that. We're going to go ahead and take that off, and we're going to just jump up here for a second. And then we're going to take off the ring. And let's see how much damage it does. Okay, so that almost killed me, but that is because I only have 101 health, but that shouldn't have done as much damage. Good God. That seems like it didn't even work. Let's try that again. Let's go into God mode. And let's try it again. So we'll go ahead and do this. We'll come up here. Let's do this just in case. Alright. And then we'll do it again. Okay, maybe I didn't go high enough. That's pretty funny. Okay, let's see. Let's just go up a little bit higher. This might actually kill me. But it really shouldn't. Okay, so that was better, I'd say. How much health do I have now? 29 out of 102. So, I don't know if that necessarily works the way it's supposed to. It could be something, I don't have no idea. Cushion falling, caster's falling damage is reduced by 50% for 99 seconds. So, perhaps the 50% just depends on the height. If you're higher up than other ones, then yeah, but I feel like you should be able to jump anywhere and be able to survive because of the 50% reduction. But it's probably because I have like 0 health, so that could be it. But let's see. We also have Lighten Load, Pack-mule, and Strong Back. Now, each of these are the same spell. They're just different levels of magic. So we have Apprentice, Adept, and Expert. Pack-mule being the biggest one. So for 90 seconds, if you cast it with one hand, and 180 seconds for 2 hands, the caster's carry weight is increased by 75 points. Which, for those of us that are exploring, can be quite helpful. That's kind of nice too, honestly. And then we also have Water Walking, which is fairly self-explanatory, but if someone just wants to see it, we can go down to the water and check it out. Okay, so now we're down here by the water. We're going to go ahead and dual cast it. There we go. And now we're walking on the water. Isn't that just perfect? Now, don't look down at the water because it's gonna try and make you swim, but when you're on the water, yeah, I'm on the water. So this would be perfect. This would actually be a great mod and a great spell for those of you using Frostfall, because I don't think you would have to swim through the water in order to get from point A to point B, because some of us who use that mod, we know that there are places that you have to walk across the water, or you have to swim through the water in order to get to it, especially down here later on in quest lines and stuff like that. So this would be a great spell for those of you using that one, and that will last for 90 seconds if you dual cast it, which is it's pretty cool. Now we'll move through Illusion, Eyes of Eventide, and Silence. Both of these are pretty freaking cool, but this one grants the caster Night Eye for 30 seconds. We're only going to do it for 30 seconds because it is indeed daytime, and I don't want to blind all of you, but there we go. So we now have Night Eye on, and obviously those of us that have played as Khajiits know that, you know, the Night Eye from Oblivion is better than the Night Eye in Skyrim, I think, in my personal opinion. But the thing with Night Eye in this one, it doesn't look like you can just unequip it and equip it just like a Khajiit can. You actually have to wait the 30 seconds, which is perfectly fine. And then Silence is an interesting one. Target cannot cast spells for 10 seconds, so this is more so against the people that are going to be battle mages against you. If you hit a mage with this, you will be protected at all costs, which means if you're not a mage yourself and you have that spell in your arsenal, you can actually hinder a battle mage from even attacking you with any spells. Run up to them with your greatsword, your mace, anything like that, and kill them without them even casting one spell at you. So that's kind of nice. And then Destruction, we saw Bolt of Weakness and Sever Magicka. Conjuration is the Skeleton Guardian. Let's go and conjure him and see what he looks like. So there we go, the Skeleton Guardian. The Skeleton Guardian just looks like a regular boy. Let's see, which one is he? So this is just the Apprentice one. So he's not the greatest. He looks like he has an axe, but probably not the greatest. Maybe up close he's pretty good, but we can actually check out this one as well. The Conjure Skeleton Champion. This one was a scroll that I found, so we can check that out here. And what did I just do to myself? I have no idea. There's supposed to be a little guy right here. That's interesting. So the Skeleton Champion... That was the Skeleton Champion. Battle Mage Skeleton has a sword and shoots ice spears. Where? Because I don't see him. So maybe that one was bugged? I have no idea. Scroll of Divine Intervention. We'll check that one out last. But, okay, so that's supposed to work. But if you can find the spell tome, it would probably be better for that. But Cure Disease pretty much does the same thing that the potions do. The Cure Disease and Cure Poison. But there's also one that has Resist Disease and Poison, as well as the Cure Disease and Poison. Now, the Resist Disease and Poison, these spells will make you immune to disease or poison for 30 seconds, longer if dual casted. More useful for characters who don't have natural resistances. So for those of you going dungeon diving into like a vampire lair, this would the resist ones would probably be pretty good. Even still though, you got these, so all you have to do is cast both of them and you're cured. You're cured of everything, which is pretty cool. And then last but not least, we've got, let's see, what else we have? The Fortify Health and Fortify Stamina, which both of these will fortify your health and fortify your stamina, obviously. And we can go and check that now. We're now at 125 health and 125 stamina, both up from 100 points, which is pretty cool. Now we're going to go and try this Divine Intervention, and we'll see what it looks like. So if we go ahead and do this, it's a master spell, so you have to dual cast it like this. And then boom. Okay, and it took us all the way to, looks like the Temple of Divines in Solitude, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I believe this is the Temple of the Divines in Solitude. So that's really kind of cool. The fact that you can just straight up teleport to somewhere where there's where there's shrines kind of defeats the purpose of the Cure Disease and Poison. But then again, if you want some, some blessings of the actual divines, that would actually be pretty cool. So like I said, guys, we didn't go over every single one of them just because some of them are much harder to find. But as far as finding them in the world and from merchants, like I said, the guys who you saw at the beginning of the video, I wrote out their names. Those guys is where I found most, if not pretty much all of the spells from. But kind of cool to have, very nice mod to have, especially if you're looking to add more spells to your arsenal as a battle mage, or as just a regular person who likes to dilly-dally and mess with some spells. This might be right up your alley. So guys, I very much hope you enjoyed today's little mod showcase, and I will see you in the next video.